Good afternoon. It's Eric of Arable Arts, and we're here for a Sunday demo. I'll let people gather. I'm going to hydrate a little bit and echo in the in the bottle. Got some bright sunshine outside that's reflecting in as we get further from the solstice, summer solstice. The light will start to come back over here. So it's still at the point where I can't take photos in the afternoon because there's too much sunlight. Okay. Sort of the opposite of not having enough. Okay, so for today we're going to be making a bat. I've actually started the bat a little earlier. I got distracted and then I decided I needed to cut my hair. It's been a real ADD type of day today. So I've cut my hair. It's actually almost all dry now, so then I can figure out the stuff I have to fix. I already know I got a little chunk out back here that I need to figure out how to minimize, which of course means removing other stuff around it. Most of it sort of came out okay. I think it still needs some thinning and blending, but I was just so tired. It had gotten so long. Because I think the last time I cut it was right before Midwest Fiber Festival. That was in April, and then it grew, and my hair grows really fast. So I was so fed up with it. I just said, okay, we're chopping it off. And so I did. Or razored it off mostly. But so most of it turned out pretty well. I may blend edges, and I got the bangs a little shorter than I wanted. But oh well. It will grow. It always does. So what I'm doing today is sort of pinky peach wine. I had this braid that I don't know what it is. I thought it was a Pandora's yarn braid, which would have meant it was Falkland. It's just sort of the way it was wrapped up, but it didn't have a tag on it because I pulled a little bit out of it to use in something, and obviously I misplaced the tag. It could be Falkland, but it doesn't feel quite as soft as Falkland. I'm not sure. It also had in it a bunch of blues and purples, which I've saved for something else. But I'm mixing this with that Cormo Corriedale we used last week for that Raspberry Ripple. And remembering that it does have VM in it. And then pink sari silk. Well, it's got blues and all sorts of other colors in it. So that's the plan. So I'm going to get you set up over the camera. Over the Carter. As I said, it's an ADD type of day today. Okay, let's do that. I'm not seeing any comments yet, so hopefully they will show up soon. So I just started loading it before I got distracted. So I am going to put a little bit more in over here. Let's take something from here. That in there. And then, how about this one? There we go. And so then on top of that, so I got this from, I see a comment. There's a comment. Who is it? Hello, Donna. I got this from, the end's over here. I got this from Honey Gold Acres. She's in Wisconsin, but I've done a number of shows with her before. Now this is it's technically a roving, right? So I could put it in just sort of through the feed tray. However, I know from experience that because of all the little short fibers that are suspended in this roving, it's going to make the liquorin's going to get messy anyways, but it's going to get even more messy if I try and use the feed tray. So I'm just going to paint it on like I would a bamboo or something like that. Now by using sort of the hot pink, it's going to blend a bit better with the other colors, and that will make the colors like the blue, red, and so forth pop a bit more on there. So I'm just going to sort of be going back and forth. The reason I ended up putting that Cordell Cormo in there was because I didn't have enough of this to do a full bat. So fluffing out to the side. Heloise is currently downstairs sitting in a sunbeam. And then when she gets overheat, she moves into the shade until she decides she needs to move back into the sun again. Now for this, I have to remember just sort of to go through and pull out any VM. So the fall is coming. No, it's not fall is coming. What am I calling it? Welcome Fall. Welcome Fall sale is next Saturday at 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern. I'm shooting to have 40 bats again. The sales go really well when I end up with 40 bats. So put a little bit more of that on there. So I'm going to try for that. Obviously, if I can make more, I will. Anything that doesn't sell will go. My guild has a sale and open house the 30th of September and the 1st of October. And then the weekend after that, I have no more free weekends until November. Because the weekend after that is something in there. Is Fiber Expo. So if you didn't see the post, I sort of had asked about joining. They said, oh yeah, there's room for you. And then I dropped the ball, as often I do with ADD. And they finally contacted me and said, so weren't you going to apply? I'm like, I thought I'd missed it. And they said, no, we'll take it. And so within the course of 10 minutes, I filled out the application and paid. So so I'm looking forward to that one. And there's so many WAFA people there. There's going to be so many WAFA people. I mean, even Ellen Zawada is going to be there. I'm going to get to meet her. Thank you. Next weekend, you move. Ooh. Yeah, you can cut your hair like mine. See? I during the pandemic, I invested in my own pair of hair clippers. Before that, I was actually borrowing from a friend in town who used to. They have a big wraparound porch, and she used to sit out there and shave. She had some boys and bees and so forth, and they all wanted short hair, or partially short in certain places. So she used to sit on her porch and do their hair, and so she would lend me the clippers, and I actually went, probably got at Walmart, Walls, clippers, but I also bought one of those, the scissors that have the notches out of that to thin your hair, because my hair desperately needs to be thinned. When I was a teenager and I had long hair, occasionally, periodically, I will have long hair, even as I grew older. But every time I grow my hair out, I'm like, why did I do this? I hate it every time I do it. But I used to have a ponytail. Okay, can you see me again? I froze, obviously, very much. I have no idea why it did that. We'll see if anybody is still here. Somebody is watching. I didn't even look up at the camera, and I just noticed. I was frozen, showing you how big my sorry, I just gotta get the gooseneck set up. How big my ponytail was. Okay. There we go. Okay, so you missed some of the story. Not a big loss. Okay, I'll try and keep an eye on the screen to see if it goes down again. I don't have an awful lot of storage right now. That's probably it. I went and deleted a bunch of photos, and it, of course, made absolutely no difference. And then last night, so I was in bed. I had the phone with me, and Heloise gets in bed, and she occasionally like looks at my phone, particularly like if I've got a video on, and she like, what's going on there, and sometimes it's just colors or whatever. And she, I decided, well, I'm going to go look at the apps for cats. Because they have, cat games on the screen. Which I realize in the long run probably is not a good idea. Because then she'll be, trying to hoard my phone. For a while there, she really was into watching YouTube videos. I have an old Kindle that I used to set up for her. And she likes, TikToks with birds and things like that. And so I tried to download it last night, and it got most of the way through the install, and then it couldn't complete because I don't think it had enough buffering room to install it. So that made me say, yeah, let's not get any more apps on there. Okay. Welcome back. Now, what's interesting is this bright, the really sort of hot pink reminds me of that airy silk that we had in the Raspberry Ripple last week. This one here, I'm just going to break in half. Now I told it to resume instead of starting a new one, so I don't know how this shows up on the page. Not good. Over there. Okay, I don't have a ton of this left. Let's just do this one. So we'll do this layer and then one more. We are getting a bit full. Yeah, so I have Fiber Expo in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where I get to see all the WAFA vendors that are going to be there. Clear Sky Alpacas is going to be there. Zephyr Creek Farm is going to be there. Mitten State Sheep and Wool is going to be there. Fresh Lotus Design is going to be there. Natural Cycles is going to be there. Knits and Pearls Fiber Arts is going to be there. I think Fantasy Fiberworks, so I'm not sure if she's going as a vendor or just as a customer. Who else? I think, Mid-Mitten Designs. So she's not a WAFA vendor, but she does stuff behind the scenes with WAFA. And I'm trying to think who else. I think there's at least one other person. 3LNS Farms. I finally get to meet Penny. You can see we're getting a little bit over here. And hopefully, if things work out, I've got an old college friend who lives in Ann Arbor, so I'm probably going to stay with her. I hope. Okay, so this is the last of this side. here. It's getting very full right in that section. So I'm looking forward to seeing all the people. If it turns out to be a good show, I'll apply for, they do one in the spring as well. It's the first weekend in April. And then, so I'm actually, before I leave for Michigan, I'm actually going to be doing something locally that is, it's like a Thursday night is our late shopping night, though a number of businesses don't stay open for that anymore. The pandemic sort of killed that. But our Chamber of Commerce is running a ladies' night out. And they have a pop-up vendor space, which is at the other end of my block. And so I saw that pop up. I immediately ran right over to the chamber and gave them the $25 fee. This is before I found out I got into Michigan. And so that is, I think it's 5 to 8. I need to double check the time. But I'm going to have to leave first thing, like the next morning. Set up for Fiber Expo, I think, is noon to 8 p.m. There's no way I'd make it there by noon, but I could probably make it there between 2 and 3, like if I left at 5 in the morning. I looked it up. It's about 8 hours. There's also an hour time change, which I always forget. Michigan is in the Eastern time zone. I think we're done. Yeah. You can see it's really full over here because all this is sticking. So, I could cancel. There's a chance I'm not going to sell anything. The things I make do not have a huge market in my town. And so I need to make the decision, is it worth it to carry everything over, down the block, set it up, and then what I would do is essentially tear it down and immediately pack it in the car. I just leave my car out front. And get everything so that I can get to bed by 10 and be on, so I can get up at 4 and be on the road by 5. I have to make that decision at some point. Of course, the other issue is, will I be organized enough with everything else so I only have to worry about packing everything I bring to the ladies' night out away, or will I still be running around trying to find everything and pack other stuff? Who knows? I have no clue. Okay. Thank you to the one person who is still tuning in, by the way. Okay, so time to take off. So I've just broken the bat. I have to think of a name. I was gonna say, whoever is the one person watching, you're gonna get to win the emojis for guessing the weight because you have no competition. Ha ha ha. So if you want to guess how much you think this is gonna weigh, go right ahead. Whoever it is who is watching. It was kind of pretty on the backside there. Okay. Got a little bit of combing action. Yeah, we got some of this leftover stuff over here. Okay, before I fluff, this is what it looks like. It's kind of fun. Yeah. Okay, now I'm just going to I'm going to take this off camera for a quick second. I'm going to probably end up with Sari Silk all over my fluffing towel. Yeah, it's, so I have to make the decision about what to do about that. I'll drive out on Friday and set up. Fiber Expo Saturday and Sunday. I drive home on Monday. And then on Thursday, I think I'm going to put the light color in the center as I roll this. And then on Thursday, I'm going to drive to southern Missouri. Isn't that nice? I think that came out really nice. I'll drive to southern Missouri, Camdenton. And because set up for the Lake Area Fiber Arts Festival, which I'm in I think it's the 13th and the 14th, starts at 7 a.m. on Friday. So obviously there's no way I could drive down from Iowa on Friday. Okay, here we go. Okay, nobody's guessed anything. I'm hoping I'm still on. Okay, I have a live button. So, weight is it's rotating a bit, but we'll call it 2.75. I do like the way that that sort of pinky center has almost a pearlescent feel to it. There's nothing shiny in it, but I think the light against the bright color really makes it look like it's shiny. Okay. Thought I just heard the cat, but I guess I didn't. So I still need a name for this as well. Okay. Thank you. Okay, we do have, there it is, Donna. Sorry, it took a second for your thing to pop up. So you 2, 3, 8. Well, you won anyways because you're the only one watching. So I'll give you some emojis for that. Yeah, I can't call it pretty though. I think I've already had a pretty bat. So I'll take a photo of this in a little bit and put it up, and maybe people can suggest some names. To see if I can pop out another bat or two. I really need to actually go grocery shopping. But other than that, thank you very much for tuning in. If you come back and watch the replay, anyone, thank you for watching. Okay. And I will see you all around. And don't forget, next Saturday, waffle sale. Take care.